4v4 variant taking place here on December 28th. Starting things off here in round number 2 between the Cadets and ExoMoon Gaming. Of course, for the side of Cadets, we've got Prophet, Vicious, Aries, and Ghoster. And for the guys on ExoMoon, we have GorgoKnight, Beehzy, Cells, and Envader. Starting things off here in our best of 3 on Arden Forest. Of course, one of my personal favorite hardpoint maps to be witnessing here for the World War II season. And we're obviously taking witness to how things are kicking off here on our first hardpoint inside of Cave. And of course, keeping in mind the rotations toward that back bunker side are going to be very important. Currently in possession of the guys over on Cadets as the headshot coming out there from Cells, finding 2, nearly finds the 3rd. But keeping in mind, quite a bit of those points obviously going over toward the guys on ExoMoon. Envader locking down some of these last few points as the rotation coming through. It looks like player number 6 and player number 7, Aries and Vicious, both here early on with those subs. And one thing that could be pointing out throughout the broadcast tonight, and of course tournaments to be looking at heading into, of course, CWL NOAA, is the weapon comp. How much has the weapon comp changed? Because, of course, what was it, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, we were looking at a game of Arden Forest and saying, well, okay, we're going to have probably 3 FG42s, maybe a PPS, or I wouldn't say maybe, depending on how many PPSHs it'd be 1 or 2. But a lot of the time, it was the FG game. It was ruled by the slower, more dominant AR players, and now the game has honestly kind of sped up a little bit after the patch. As 4 do go down, Cells being a part of 3 out of them, is now 9-3 at the moment, potentially getting close to streaks. As GorgoKnight cleaning up a few as well, lining it up at certain sequences, really, is this ExoMoon group, but still looking on, though, as the 40-point advantage does continue on. Like I said, Bar seems to kind of be the main focus. I've been able to watch a few teams as far as like what their kind of predictions are as far as the weapon comp is considered. I know the subs were kind of leading it. They were saying, you know, do we switch toward the Thompson? Do we switch toward, you know, the MP40? And it seems that the PPSH is still a weapon of choice. You might see one come out here or there with the Thompson, but for the most part, it is the PPSH stool rule game. Teams, obviously, players rather, a lot more confident on this particular weapon as 2 get picked up there from Prophet. His gamertag speaking alike, finding them in certain sequences, however, does get dropped and is currently struggling a little bit. Currently sitting at 3 and 8, but rotation still keeping in mind here toward that back bunker side, and it's the red team right now, aka the Cadets. We're locking up a lot of those free seconds as 4 go down, and now you see that backside spawn coming through bridge. This is going to be a track, to say the least, as they are currently holding spawns for East Road. Granted, it's not one that you're that excited about holding, because when it comes to Arden Forest, generally, when it comes to this particular map, right, you have the money hill, and then you have basically the hill that is a contest fest. You're going to see maybe, you know, a few seconds gained for either team, but honestly, if you play the hill right from either side, you're not going to see a whole lot of points go either way. It's all about trades when it comes down to East Road. So it's a really big change up whenever you go from the money hill then to East Road, because it's kind of like, hey, you know, do we focus a lot of attention in toward bunker? Do we, you know, sacrifice what could be spawns for 20 seconds of hill time? Or do we just try to force the issue in East Road and hope that we can get some overall good timing? But regardless, of course, match does progress. And it looks like while it was the boys with Prophet and Co. over on Cadets, they do grab quite a few seconds into bunker. The rotation has been made, and right now it is the ExoMoon group locking down that time as, of course, trades come through. GorgoKnight coming in through cut and from cabin, able to drop 1, and I'm not sure who that was. Was that Ghoster, who was literally super high in the air? I'm not sure how he was kind of pulling up an Air Jordan there, but regardless, fighter pilot as well as the glide bomb earned last second for the boys on ExoMoon. So something to kind of keep in mind as the match does progress, because these teams are holding pretty close right now. Vicious playing pretty decent at the moment, currently sitting at 15 and 10. And GorgoKnight on the opposite side, currently sitting at 15 and 11. And of course, the guy who did earn those streaks in the end. As Aries locking things down through that fire alley, trying to do some damage with the subs. And the subs are coming out to play. It seems that they are the defining factor as to who's grabbing a lot of these seconds, as Aries will finally go down after picking up 2 or 3 kills in quick succession. But the glide bomb coming in, looks like GorgoKnight will be able to pick off Prophet, but overall, it is a pretty dominating hill coming in from the boys over on Cadets, as they are trying to bring this one back. I'm not sure if they've kind of taken a big lead so far in this match, but for the most part, I believe it was, what, 40-3 or 55-3 or something like that. That was in favor of the guys on ExoMoon. And of course, things are starting to kind of change. Things are starting to turn. And it looks like right now the boys on Cadets are starting to bring this one back. Of course, rotation now getting ready to be made in toward Ruins, and you see Beehzy making the early rotation, currently sitting at 6 and 16. As him and Envader definitely struggling at the moment. Got to be keeping in mind. I know at least Beehzy is from Canada, so maybe that host could be a little bit of a factor for him. Something to always kind of keep in mind. As Prophet finds 3 with the fighter pilot, gets 4 as well. A full sweep coming through for this man, as he totally takes out the entire group of ExoMoon, and just like that, GorgoKnight says, well, hey, I can hop in the fighter pilot as well. Maybe not have as much success, but nonetheless, I've earned it. And back and forth we do go, as right now it's Prophet's team, the Cadets, who are in prime control of this particular hill, as well as the lead. They're at 147 to just 119. And Prophet's just trying to hold off for his teammates, as Aries watching the flank. Granted, he does find a kill in succession, but 15 seconds left. Most likely going to see Aries try to go for this contention, maybe try to go for the big one-on-one battle. And these are some big points that are not going to go the way of Aries and co. So Cadets going to have to sacrifice those seconds, and to goodwill, I think it's fair to say. It's the rotation now being made toward bunker, and you see those red arrows in your top left corner there, all focusing toward bunker. And they don't have a whole lot of control toward, I was going to say toward forest, but now not either through mid-street. So Aries obviously realizing such needs to at least find 1 kill, does his job, and is able to stay alive. So big plays coming in from the guys on ExoMoon, just trying to stay alive. As Vicious doing exactly that, and of course we talk about a few players for the group here on Cadets. Vicious and Aries both coming from Merkin Clan after having a, fair to say, pretty awful placement. And CBL Dallas finishing top 112. Yeah, not a placement they'd like to replicate, so of course team change was necessary, as the kind of overall groups went their separate ways, and are now trying to form a group here with Prophet and Ghost. I believe Prophet, well, not really familiar actually. I didn't see how his performance was at Dallas, but I know he started off the year on Panda with Drama, Too Quick, and Fastball. That group has obviously been together in a few rosters in the past. Of course, he's most notably known for his run back on Vex Gaming, and was a major kind of defining factor of that group in the past, and obviously is doing a lot of work when it comes to World War II in the slang category, 24 and 19. As it looks like Cells locking down the hill at the moment. Does get picked off. And Beehzy actually rocking the STG-44. Not something that we're used to seeing, but hey, if the kills aren't really going your way, might as well switch things up a little bit. As Vicious coming through with the fighter pilot of his own, doing some damage. And picking things off. And it's 222 to just 143. It seems that the guys on Cadets have caught fire, and they have not looked back. And you talk about Vicious' performance, 35 and 15. I know we've seen a few tournaments, of course, after Vicious and co. were released from Merkin Clan, and this guy really can go off. I don't remember exactly what roster we were watching him play on, but he was having an incredible performance in a lot of the matches that we watched in that slang category, and it seems that he's continuing on with the same. Like I said, 36 and 16, a minute and 11 seconds in hill time. I mean, this guy is literally doing it all right now for his respective roster, as they're only about 25 seconds away from winning this game number 1 here on Armed Force, but of course trying to prevent that right now are the guys on ExoMoon. Beehzy ends up losing a crucial fight toward that backside bunker. And now taking a look at the person who's inside the hill. It is Prophet at the moment. Locking down a few seconds. Cells watching through cabin. It looks like hill control will start to dwindle. As maybe even the game as well. As Ghost are watching up front just to try to prevent these players from doing any excess damage off spawn. It looks like Envader will find one through cut. Fight's going down. 2 found there. Aries is able to find at least an assist along with a kill there. So big overall play as the seconds starting to look less and less likely to go the way of ExoMoon. But of course, rotation continuing on. Overall consistent play trying to be made. As it Cells who's inside of the hill, trying to grab those few seconds. It looks like coming from the skies, Prophet yet again doing damage, man. With his streaks, the fighter pilot finds 3, and it looks like the glide bomb tries to come in, but it doesn't do any excess damage. He finishes off 31 and 23, along with Vicious, who finishes off 39 and 19. As we'll take a look here at Prophet, the man who we were kind of discussing through a lot of this map number 1, doing it all with the bar as well as that machine pistol. As he finds 3 and gives his team a big map number 1 victory. So 250 to 180. As the Cadets will go up 1-0. And of course, we do talk about players who really didn't have the strongest performances. We talk about Beehzy, 19-31. Envader, 19-26. But Beehzy's kind of the main one to be focusing on when it comes down to the loss here for ExoMoon. And this is the official ExoMoon roster for those who have heard about this team at CWL Dallas. I believe they were in the open bracket and ended up taking out Supremacy. This isn't this exact team whatsoever. I think most notable player was Torque, who's kind of a known UMG search and destroy player for those who aren't really familiar with him. But he was the only player who was on this roster who was really notable to kind of carry on the ExoMoon kind of phenomenon throughout Dallas. But the whole new group, of course, kind of rebranding themselves and kind of advancing as well. Really surprised, though, to see Beehzy's performance. Like I said, I don't know how negative he was, but he just did not have a solid performance whatsoever. And this guy throughout, maybe Black Ops 3 Infinite Warfare, was known as a very talented guy. Like I said, whenever he played on Lethal Gaming, when he played on a number of different rosters, most notably Lethal, of course, he was the guy who was the X Factor. It was like, if Beehzy's going off, this team has a chance to take down, some Titan teams. And, of course, had a pretty decent run, I want to say, at Black Ops 3 Champs. I'm not sure exactly the placement that he had. Welcome back, everyone. Of course, the $300 minimum 4v4 variant. Of course, it's myself, Lando, here live in the UMG studio, lining things up here for a map number 2 taking place on USS Texas between the guys on Cadets and ExoMoon. It's currently Cadets who are up 1-0 in this series after taking a pretty dominant victory on Arden Forest for map number 1. They won that one 250-180. But now, focusing our attention towards some search and destroy best of 11 rounds. And, of course, only 1 life per round as Vicious tries to pick off the head of cells. Isn't able to make that one happen, as expect to see quite a few sniper rifles throughout the rest of this map. The way that the map can kind of work, if you take a look in the left-hand corner, long lines of sight, which of course do play favor to the sniper rifle players. As Vicious still looking on, of course, bomb in the hands of GorgoKnight and co. As you can see him just very casually trying to make his way closer and closer toward that bomb site, as Prophet waiting right around the corner, tries to go for the rush, but it doesn't work out. He tries to kind of sacrifice his life to maybe drop the bomb down. But instead, the trade doesn't work out. The Dolphin Dives comes forward, and now Vicious is left in a spot where he can't really do a whole lot. Does he have to rely on his teammates to try and rush forward? Ghoster is here, but can he find GorgoKnight? No, he can't. Actually, the team kill comes in from cells. But regardless, Vicious, 1 versus 3, he's got a sniper rifle. And he's about to get dropped. So just like that, throughout the entire round there for the guys on Cadets, essentially what we see is it's a rush of ExoMoon, of course, onto the A site. What ends up happening is that they kind of let the opposition come to them. Vicious, of course, is kind of holding a sniper rifle, and he's kind of calling out to his teammates and saying, hey, guys, I can't really do a whole lot. I'm holding this backside, and I can't really do much. I can get kind of eyes for you, but I can't really make the rush myself with a machine pistol or anything like that. So in kind of being in that particular situation, he's kind of slowly but surely calling out to his teammates, okay, now it's your turn to rush. Now it's your turn to rush. And the reason why they don't rush as a team is because of the potential for the opposite side to have a sniper rifle out as well. So something to kind of keep in mind, based on Vicious's position in the back lines, you most likely assume that he also has a sniper rifle, but up close and personal, Prophet, team kill is happening yet again, shutting down his own squad mate. But regardless, it is now a 1 versus 3. Take a look at Invader's point of view, as Prophet, all by his lonesome, thankfully does have the bomb in hand, but not a whole lot more to work with, as this one should easily be a 2-0, nearly gets taken out there by cells. Very solid shots coming in from him, but regardless, will get taken out. And we'll see, based on the positioning right now of Beehzy and Envader, these were 2 guys who struggled massively in that first hard point. So momentum, especially for Beehzy, would be nice. But we'll see if Prophet can potentially spoil the party, as I believe just above him, player number 4, Beehzy, had a fantastic point of view just above those stairs. Prophet never would have checked that particular point of view, so definitely kind of dodging a bullet, no pun intended. As Prophet's able to get the bomb down, spots the legs of Beehzy and decides to back up. And what he's trying to do is just kind of limiting every line sight. Of course, not watching his flank. Now decides to do so, checks the back, and I believe spots Envader. And based on Invader's point of view, yes. Solid positioning coming in from Prophet. I love the play from Prophet because, of course, he realizes, hey, I see one player. Most likely the fact that it is a 2 versus 1, where we're most likely going to see a pinch start to come into play. So obviously tries to go for the pre-fire. Isn't able to walk away with the gunfight there onto Beehzy. But of course Beehzy kind of plays the bait and switch, lets the teammate kind of pick him off from the side. So overall, good awareness from Prophet, but just in the end, kind of difficult to really make anything happen. And Envader, of course, staring at the wave. As currently, it is a little bit of a swing right now. 2-0 in favor of the guys on ExoMoon, turning the tide when it comes into search and destroy. As Cells right now, 5-1. I think we should go on board with Cells really quick just to see what he's kind of doing at the moment. Tossing out that pre-nade. That could definitely land on Ghoster. And yes, gets the hit marker, but it's Beehzy, in fact, who's able to find the first two. Taking out both Vicious and Aries. Ghoster just hanging out below. Quite literally is going to have to try and play passive. But Prophet actually bringing out, if you look at that kill feed, Prophet actually bringing out the Thompson for a moment. As it will be Ghoster now, left in a 1 versus 2. Of course, getting that bomb down for his squad was Prophet, so now Ghoster left to try and defend it, and I believe Envader is there with the snipe just to pick him off. We'll see. Watch this one again. As you see, Ghoster here. Overall, solid shot there with the Kar 98K, as it is 3 rounds in a row for the boys on ExoMoon. They are playing incredibly strong right now. And that all really started off, I mean, essentially when you're an immediate 4 versus 2, I mean, how often do you really win the round? But it was Beehzy who came in with the pre-nade, doing a fantastic job at lining things up and obviously taking out the opposition. But it looks like a Prophet, yet again, pulling out some interesting strats. Pulling out the Thompson. Vicious finding the first blood. And now it looks like Ghoster finds the second. So them being on offense, this is a fantastic point of view because, of course, being on the offensive side in most maps in Search and Destroy is obviously the non-preferred of the two. As that nade is going to be good for Envader. He earned streaks. Envader has got streaks right now. And if he finds this kill, that could have definitely been the glide bomb. However, not going to go his way. Unfortunately, had the third streak, I believe, being the flamethrower. Can't really do a whole lot in Search and Destroy with that. But maybe if you just want to kind of take out a bomb planter or something, just maybe want to make a sacrificial run, you could have done something. But regardless, this 4-0 sweep looking less likely, but finds one to Cells. Needs to go for the turn-on player right in front of him. Can he find it? And yes, Cells! A huge 1 versus 2. As he's making everyone look silly today. Picks off Vicious. And he's going to let him know that we're up 4-0, and that CTF is now looking a lot more likely. As Cells is now 8-1 on a 3 spree, and will add a fuse to that list. And just for good measure, lets Vicious know yet again that I just joked you. Fantastic play from Cells. As just when we started to think, okay, Cadets, they can finally get around here. They can kind of be down 1-3, but now a hot 4-0. Things definitely looking likely, and Cells might have stepped away from the monitor for a second, maybe standing up, getting pretty excited. That's the momentum that you need, man. A lot of momentum swings and back-to-back rounds for the boys on ExoMoon as they're trying to bring this one back. I believe Vicious makes his presence known, so I like that play from Vicious, as he does get taken out there in the end, but still kind of revealing his position, making the opposition think that, hey, I could be coming at any moment on this flank, so make sure that you're watching that. And in doing so, they can kind of leave the enemy's attention, sort of kind of protecting that bomb planter, but however, doesn't work out. Nice nade from Prophet. Kind of bounces off the side toward that top position. Doesn't find anything with it, though, as these streaks will come in. Nothing earned, but at least it's positioning. Information that's gained. And Prophet trying to find 2 on the top, but gets the assist as Aries finds 2 with the sniper rifle. Just like that, it's Envader, who's left in a 1 versus 3. Can finally the guys on Cadets get around on the board? Or will we see yet again another clutch? Envader, it's your turn. Spotting one of the bomb. Nearly takes out Ghoster as well. And you can wallbang that. Shot to attach. As Aries in the back lines will be there with the sniper rifle. I believe Aries start that round. I want to say, what? Does he find 3? It was someone with a sniper rifle who found 2 early kills. It actually might have been Envader. I could be wrong. Or it was Aries. Okay, so Aries, I believe, gets the hat trick in that round, doing damage from afar. And that's what we talk about. Sniper rifles on USS Texas are so useful. And that's the reason why I'm really glad that this map is in the rotation. I know at the beginning of World War II, not a whole lot of people were fans of this map. And granted, I definitely agreed as well. But it's nice to see the difference of play styles that can succeed at different moments in World War II. Of course, you have maps that are, obviously long range. You have ones that are short range, kind of for the ARs or sub players. And now, of course, you have a Search and Destroy map made for players who can do work with the sniper rifle as well. Going hand in hand as the body shots are coming in. Vicious is the last alive, and just like that, the round is done for. As you see Beehzy coming in here from the flank. Takes out Vicious with ease. As this has kind of been the story for this map number 2 here in USS Texas. I know we kind of talked about the sniper rifle play, but you're going to need Aries to find a few more kills. You're going to need him to get some momentum, catch fire. And really, you're going to need Vicious to kind of catch fire. He was the guy, Vicious finished off like what? I think he finished like 39 and 16 or something. And map number 1, struggling in the search and destroy. And it's going to be interesting to see, most likely, how the CTF will pan out. Unless we see just an absolute choke coming in from the ExoMoon guys. But I don't think that's going to be the case whatsoever. But Vicious, yet again, this is what he did in back-to-back rounds. On their defensive side, just making his presence known underground. Hey, if there's no one there, not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever. Because I can just back up, play my life. But just letting everyone know that his position is available can obviously cause some problems. But still looking on, Vicious, finding one from the flank, and now it's Beehzy left at a 1 versus 2. Catching actually both off guard, knows what the other player is. Takes out Aries. And a 1 player left. Vicious is already hopping on the defuse. Beehzy, can he spawn him? Yes, Beehzy is there. A big victory for Beehzy, the 1 versus 2 to close out map number 2. As this one is going to be seeing a map number 3 on London docks for some CTF. As I'm very curious to see how that one will obviously pan out, because we were talking about momentum, right? Momentum gain from map number 1 can obviously be a pretty decent factor. And now looking ahead, right, when it comes down to CTF, like I said, map number 1, hardpoint, obviously Cadets played pretty well. We see Prophet have a dominant performance with those streaks. We talk about Vicious's performance. Finished off nearly with the 40 bomb. I mean, that just goes to show. We saw Beehzy and Envader have huge struggles when it came down to that hard point. But these are the 2 guys who kind of led the way a lot throughout the search and destroy. Beehzy finishes off 8 and 3. Envader finishes off 6 and 3. And the guy who I was talking about, GorgoKnight, the one to really be aware of, is the guy who actually kind of plays the objective. Not something that I was personally, from a very outside point of view, not that I've been able to watch him play a whole lot throughout World War II, but the guy who's very well known for his search and destroy play, he gets 3 plants throughout this game. So something to kind of keep in mind, at least when we look at search and destroys, maybe throughout the future of ExoMoon's run here in the 44 variant, is their search and destroy play? How are they going to perform when it comes down to their future hardpoints, their future CTFs? And of course, speaking of future CTFs, like I said, we have one on London docks. Now, the reason why I think this particular map number 3 between these 2 teams is especially interesting is you talk about London docks, right? It's a matter of getting a full team wipe, grabbing the flag, and just making sure that you have at least 1 player or 2 players watching cuts, either from water or obviously through bus side. So I think it's really going to come down to a lot of communication, which I think is going to be 8th. It's myself, Lando, here, guiding you guys through the current action that we have taking place in round number 2 between the Cadets and ExoMoon, heading toward map number 3. Winner advances, loser. I guess because I don't like the term, because it's like loser goes home, but they're already home. They're all in their houses just enjoying playing some fantastic World War II. But the loser is out of the tournament. They're done for. And I'm very curious to see how this one does play out. And off the bat, I see some interesting strats coming in from the ExoMoon guys. Beehzy with the STG-44, and I believe I saw, it might have been GorgoKnight pulling out the Thompson. Some interesting plays being made. We talk about how the series has kind of lined up, how it's gotten to this point. Of course, map number 1 was a dominant victory for the guys on Cadets, with Vicious having a strong performance. His flag is grabbed right now for Beehzy, as Cells will sacrifice his life, but it could be a worthy exchange. Beehzy has to try to go for the rush. Can he make it past the corner? Yes, he will be able to stay alive, but player number 2 is right behind him. Can he keep his teammate alive? And yes, will be able to do so. Thought Envader might have kind of slipped up there and let Beehzy potentially drop, but this is how London Docks CTF is going to play out. You're going to see a lot of fast-paced play when you see maybe 2 or 3 players in the kill feed, if not 4 drop. That's when you're going to see that flag grabbed. As keep in mind, that right side scorecard, when you see, like I said, 2, 3, 4 skulls kind of come up for either team, that's when that flag is most likely going to be at least approached. And so you might see some sneaky play, which could definitely be the case right now for Vicious. At least just kind of trying to cause a distraction. As long as you can kind of keep the enemy in their backside spawn, they're going to constantly be aware of his position. And it looks like it will be GorgoKnight who does pick him off. Aries is there for the trade, and Cells, realizing the position at hand, picks up the PPSH and does not find much more than that. So Ghoster able to pick him off, as it looks like player number 8, Ghoster, of course, the farthest pushed up player at the moment for his team, but of course, the fast-paced action will continue, keeping in mind, I know I was talking about how the series is kind of lined out up to this point, but we talked about Cadets, dominant Game 1 victory. Essentially, we can say in ExoMoon's favor for the Search and Destroy for Map 2. Another dominant victory as well. I mean, they basically kind of carried that search and destroy, winning that one 6 rounds to just 1. So momentum has got to be on their side. As Flag gets grabbed for the moment, it will be Prophet who dies on it, and Ghoster is still here fighting for his life, picks up 2 huge kills, but Cells is there for the pickup. Can Cells get here to return the flag is the question. 2 players getting close, and thankfully we'll find that. Based on overall bat position, you're saying, well, hey, he's only a few feet away from his base. It's not that big of a deal. When it comes into London Docks, you round a corner, and you could easily be gone if you have teammate support. So, big flag grab and return for the boys on ExoMoon, but looking forward. Looks like Ghost Trick yet again being a little bit of a nuisance, kind of hanging out third water side. And I like the position when a player on the just kind of spawning toward back bus is kind of holding in water, just because it's kind of an annoying position. You're not really going to see anyone rush through water. It's all about those pushes through middle. So kind of having someone in water who is constantly a nuisance you have to be aware of can kind of be an issue. But a distraction has been made. 3 players end up falling, and now Aries is the man with the flag in his hands. Prophet trying to watch over for him. I talked about water. Water side, not used very often when it comes to the flag poles, but it seems that the interesting strategies will continue. And in the base right now, I believe it's player number 7. That's Vicious who's holding it down, and just around the corner, Aries, nearly one shot, is able to respond with the flag. So big pickup as we're now level at 1-1 with just a minute and 20 seconds in this first half. Nice long-range shot from GorgoKnight. Granted, I mean, the Thompson is a good close-range weapon, but looking look easy there. As Envader able to drop 1 thanks to some help, as I believe Beehzy finds the 3rd and 4th. Up close and personal fights, and yet again, Ghoster can definitely make a play right now. We see Envader with the flag, but Ghoster just needs to find the man in the closest up position. But can Beehzy be there? Yes, Beehzy with a huge pickup now has the flag in his possession. I talked about how he needs to have a strong performance when it comes down to these respawns, and he is answering the call when it matters most in CTF. Currently sitting at double positive and trying to do the work needed for the team. And honestly, playing for Streaks in his position wouldn't be bad. Unfortunately, does die, but Streaks maybe on London Docks. I don't want to say it doesn't really matter as much, but of course you do have fire, you do have barrel building, which can easily kind of take away that position where the Streaks can kind of be a factor, but still, could definitely be a problem. And Cells, he's saying, I just found 2. Envader finds the 3rd. They could try to make a flag grab here at the end. Beehzy has escaped with it yet again. If Beehzy can make this one happen, having his teammate just behind him, GorgoKnight, is trying to watch the cut coming in from bus side. And yes, just like that, this is going to be a flag that will go through. Of course, the overtime will make this play happen. And just like that, Beehzy making constant big plays, as he's now going to put the boys on ExoMoon up 3-1. And really throughout that game, you know, of course, I was talking about Beehzy, how his overall performance was great, but honestly, he wins a 1v1 to solidify the 2nd flag that they get, and he wins another big 1v1 gunfight to solidify the 3rd flag. So had it not been for Beehzy's 2 kills, this game would be level at 1-1. So just overall clutch plays coming in from him. As he and Cells, definitely the hot men to be looking at the moment as far as their gun skill is considered. Looking on Envader, finding 2 off the break, 5 streak for him. As if he even just touches this flag, he's going to be inches away from those score streaks, but a huge kill found from Ghoster takes out Envader. And just like that, streaks aren't earned, and that could have been huge momentum. When we talk about how this match will conclude, but Beehzy making his way through the flank, and if you're in Beehzy's position, you have your teammates drop, there's no reason to grab the flag right now. If your teammates can obviously make something happen, you grab the flag, but yeah, right now, just playing the time well. And if you're, like I said, if you're in Beehzy's position, you wait for your teammates to find the kills. If they don't find the kills, then you try to pick up the flag carrier as he finds it. And just like that, Beehzy grabs on the other side. I want to say maybe it was a little bit too early, but based on what we're seeing right now, he could definitely make a run with it. Prophet, though, on the other end water side, has a few players getting up and close. Envader holding that head glitch. Getting tagged in the side, and Prophet should be dropping at any moment. The nade comes through, just like that, Beehzy is there for the capture. So solid play coming in from the guys on ExoMoon. Beehzy, I want to say it was a little bit early. Before I even talk about that, GorgoKnight has grabbed it as well, trying to catch the enemy off guard. He could escape with a flag of his own, making this rush through water Does get picked off from Ghoster, and it looks like that flag will be returned in the end. So constant pressure being awarded toward the side of ExoMoon. And I love this play, as you see Envader now grab it for his team. Granted, 3 go down, but I just love the overall solid play. It's like, hey guys, now we're up, and just as the Cadets are probably thinking, how do we get back into this game? All right, guys, let's kind of turn things up. Before they can even say that, the continued aggression continues on. So they can't even form defensive strategy. They can't even kind of get their head on straight, as GorgoKnight shooting the bodies a little bit there. They can't even get their head on straight because of the overall dominance that we're seeing. And the overall aggressiveness that we're seeing as well. Like I said, 4 down, stuns going out, turn to delay. And that backside spawn as Envader finds 2. Headshots galore as yet again another 4 down. Beehzy adding yet again another flag toward his overall total. As we'll see him fire in the 5th flag. This man is 5 for 5 in the objective. He's capped every single flag for the boys on ExoMoon. As Envader finds another 2, GorgoKnight finds the 3rd. This is just overall dominance being shown in CTF. As granted, Beehzy is going to take him out. Beehzy says, I want all 6 flags. I'm the objective mastermind. I want streaks. And Prophet is just doing everything possible just to try to get these guys out of the base. Trying to do everything possible. You see Beehzy right now, 14-9. Cells 19-15, 15-13 for Envader. GorgoKnight 19-11. I mean, just overall, these guys are showing dominance. And GorgoKnight proving that the Thompson can definitely do some damage. Even at a long range, of course, it's preferred up close, as Aries, I believe, shoots a few shots to the body. Beehzy coming forward with the streaks. Can't take out Prophet, but Envader will grab the flag regardless. And let's just watch how they watch the cuts. It looks like Envader does get picked off. So I was going to say, how does that water battle go? And Cells wins yet again another 1 versus 1. But we talk about, and in general, granted, the positioning there for Cadets just wasn't fantastic. And maybe it's, of course, that they're down 5 flags at the time. It makes things a little bit more, you know, not as motivating, I think it's fair to say. But generally, just the positioning, just the overall awareness, the 1v1s that just aren't going their way are big. And that's the reason why we've seen at least 3 flags out of the 4, or 3 out of the 7, excuse me, go down, have been to crucial 1 versus 1. We talked about that last one coming in from Cells, the earlier 2 from Beehzy. I mean, clutch 1 versus 1s kind of, at least in my opinion, changed the title, changed the pace, rather, of how the CTF game went. And now GorgoKnight easily makes it through the base. And I'm pretty sure they're just not caring at this point. Just based on the overall positioning right now of this team. GorgoKnight, it's easy for him at this point. It's basically like playing a pub. And Beehzy, yeah, I was going to say, does Beehzy take him out? Who grabs the flag? And Beehzy going to take out his entire team. Oh my gosh, Beehzy! Unbelievable play. Insane play for Beehzy there. Looks like Prophet will get timed out, leaves the game. As this will be a dominant victory here in the books for the boys on ExoMoon. Beehzy, oh my god. Just absolutely destroys Ghoster in that position. I'm not sure what the massive difference was between the hardpoint and the CTF, but they're playing a 4v0 at the moment, as they're going to win this one 8 flags to 1. Honestly, if you are a young child, I would recommend not looking at the screen or not watching the replay, just because that was dirty. That was honestly awful to watch. And honestly, that was kind of annoying, to be totally honest with you. I was really looking forward to a close CTF, and that is not at all what I was expecting. A 7 flag differential, an 8-1 is how this one plays off here for the guys on ExoMoon as they advance here in a 2-1 fashion, as they will be seeing a round number 3. But actually, can we see the overall? I just want to kind of break down what was happening throughout this entire series, just because we saw close game, and then just, yeah, I don't even know. But like I said, map number 1, of course, taking place on Armed Force, 250 to 180. Like I said, it was close at certain points, but it was just some momentum that we saw in game from Vicious, where he drops a near 40 bomb. We saw Prophet streaks really play a big factor in Armed Force throughout the rotations, making their way toward bunker. I mean, they just played the overall scheme of the rotations very, very well for Cadets. And, of course, they ended up walking with game number 1. So now I'm thinking towards Search and Destroy. How are these guys going to play? Are they going to kind of come out as Vicious going to play well? We're going to see Aries do work with the sniper rifle. Not at all the case. ExoMoon win this one at 6 rounds to 1 with dominant plays coming in from Beehzy. I mean, we saw him have some amazing plays in that 1 versus 2 to kind of close things out. I mean, just overall, just a lot of momentum plays coming in from ExoMoon to solidify the fact that they win this one 6-1. Honestly, based off normalcy, we probably would have saw like a 6-3 if some oddities wouldn't have gone their way, but still 6-1 victory for ExoMoon, and they carry that huge amount of momentum into the CTF, as you can see, as they win this one 8-1. Yes, that score is correct in the London Docks CTF. They win this one 8-1 and overall 2-1 in the series count. But just generally, when it comes to the CTF, notes to be taken as far as this series is considered. Cadets, they played well in hardpoint. Search and destroy obviously was a struggle. USS Texas can kind of be a little bit of a oddity, but generally when it came down to London Docks, it was just about that sub pressure. It was just non-existent throughout a lot of that map. And when you go 4 down, 5 down, 6 down, as far as the CTF flags, of course your momentum, your overall communication is going to take a toll, right? You're not going to be communicating as strong as you probably or previously would have. So that obviously plays a factor. But it was a lot of big 1 versus 1s. I was talking about Beehzy struggles in the first hard point. He totally turns things around when it comes to the search and destroy, and obviously turns things around in the CTF. I believe picking up, I think it was, 6 or 7 of the flags, captures at least in that CTF. So obviously turned things around quite a bit and started to dominate. And whenever Beehzy goes off, you're going to see ExoMoon have a lot of success because this guy...